welcome to the new series of TOUCHDESIGNER videos. In this new series, I'm going to give some short introduction to TOUCHDESIGNER. First video, we learn how to render a 3D object. First, double-click in your software and go to SOP and bring a sphere. Add a noise after a sphere. You can just right-click on the output of your node and then select noise. And after noise, bring a facet. Now we go to our sphere and we change the primitive type to polygon. And in facets, turn on unique points and compute normals. Now we have a hardened edge sphere that is noisy. Now right click at the end of your facet and bring a geometry from comp. Now bring a camera from comp. From material, bring a phong. Drag and drop your phong on your geometry and choose material. In comp, you can bring a light. And from top, bring a render. Now you can see everything connected to our render. I add a null after render. And between my render and null, I right click on the wire and I choose insert operator. I bring an RGBG. Now I have a black background. Here I divide my panel into two parts. And from here I choose top viewer. And I turn on the null display. Just click on this blue button. Right click on the left panel. Go to display and turn off the backdrop tops. Now we have our final image on the background, but I don't want to have it on my workspace. Now I just have the final image on my right panel. Go to your phong. On diffuse, you can change the color. But we can also have a texture. So what I do here, I go to top and you can bring a ramp. Here I change the color. I want to have kind of a tile image. That's why the beginning and the end of my color are the same. And now I add a null. And I change the name to color map. I drag and drop this null inside the color map window in my phong. And I reset the diffuse color. Now here I'm adding more color in the middle of my lamp. Now I go to geometry and I go to rotate Y position. I write a this time.second. When you write this code, in each second, one number will be added to the value of the parameter that you have. So every second, it will increase one number. I multiply it to 4 because I want to make it a bit faster. Now I go to lights. If you click on this star, then you can turn around your model. I changed the light type to cone light. Now it's a bit darker still, so I add an ambient light and I reduce the dimmer. You can just play around with your lights, change the angle or the color or the intensity. Now I want to try a different material. From material I choose line. Now I drag and drop the line on my geometry instead of the phong. Now we have kind of a wireframe, but the difference between line and wireframe is that we can add points. Go to point, turn on draw points, and you can increase the size number. Here you can also play with the distance far and distance near. I'm not using a mouse, I don't know why, but that's why I'm a bit slow and weird. So I copy the geometry. Now I want to have both materials. I assign the phong to the new geometry. Now you can see that we have the color and the line. Before the geometry 1, which is my plexus, I add a noise. Now you can see all these points and edges are separated from each other, because what facet does is that it separates all the faces and it gives us like this hardened edge looking. I go to my first noise. I change the period and amplitude. And in my render I go to common and I change my resolution to a square. Now I want to have a separate render from my geometry without the lines and points. So here I make a copy from my render. And in the render menu, instead of the stub, which means all the geometry should be rendered, I drag and drop my geo 2. Now I have two renders, which one of them is just geometry without lines. And I add an edge after the render. Now I bring the composite from top and I connect render 1 and edge, which is after my render 2 to it. Here I change the operation. And I increase the strength of the edge. Now I just put the operation on over. And here you can change the order of your inputs in your composite. And this is the final result. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video I will continue working on these visuals and show you how to use feedback.